Welcome to another Sunday check-in with your friend Gyro, where we will talk about getting to level 80 in the War Within and your first steps. What would I recommend that you do, in what order, why not, that kind of stuff. It will also contain my early impressions from the expansion itself. I already, believe it or not, have 2 level 80s, and I've sampled content available to us already. So today, unpretentiously, I'll share my personal opinion and welcome your opinion as always in the comments below. Let's share our early impressions. So, the analogy with a McDonald's burger, where McDonald's burger used to be large and used to cost a certain amount, and now it is smaller and it costs either the same amount or a little bit more. Well, in a nutshell, that's how I feel about the War Within so far. Campaign is very short. By the time I got to the end of the campaign, I was level 78.5, and I heard from some people in the chat where I kind of shared my opinion with the world, and some people talked to me back. Some people said that they finished the campaign at level 76. They must have been blasting. So I have obviously I followed the main route of the campaign quests. That's what I think you should do. But please be aware that it will be not enough to take you all the way to 80, which I think is a first problem with this expansion, by the way. And I've done some delving, of course. I've done maybe a handful, like less than a handful of some side quests, and I will tell you later in this video why I don't think you should do the side quests, especially on your first character, the first one you're taking through, your main, so to speak. Don't do them. Don't do them. So, finish the campaign. Let's say you're somewhere there between level 77 and 78, maybe like me, 78.5, when the campaign abruptly ends. Okay, deal with that feeling. We'll talk a bit more about it later. And just spam dungeons. Spam normal dungeons, queue for dungeons. If you're a healer or a tank, my condolences to you right now. We'll talk about this in some other videos again. My condolences to you right now. But just spam the dungeons, your queue will be almost instant, and you will get to level 80 before you know it. If you're a DPS, engage in some kind of world content, which is obviously delving and obviously the world quests. Yep, it's not like there is anything else to do there. And that is while you're in the queue. And the queue right now in the prime time is somewhere around the ballpark of 6 minutes for DPS and about 10 minutes in any other normal kind of time. Which is bearable. Not great, not bad. Okay, it's okay, so it's fine. You will get there to level 80 before you know it, okay? Now, delving. So let's address the elephant in the room. When the developers talked about introducing this new content as alternative for solo-inclined people or who are in very small groups, that content that's spammable on their own kind of schedule, independent from Mythic Plus or other more organized kind of grouping, I thought it was a great idea, but I thought it would be supplementary to the rest of the content that's coming in the expansion, that the usual stuff, the usual saturation, the usual layers of content, which I found severely lacking, and I think that delves are a lot more central than even I anticipated. Of course, they tooted about them, and that was that new feature, and we all looked forward to it, and I think, by the way, they are okay, delves. But I just didn't realize how much weight, how much of a bet Blizzard put on that evergreen content on delves to keep us occupied, basically. Because essentially, the world is rather barren, and yes, before you tell me, I appreciate that the Season 1 has not started yet at the moment of recording of this video, which is why we don't have LFR, we don't have Mythic Plus, we don't have anything like that, which usually fills up the rest of the world. Of course it does, and I look forward to it. At the moment we don't have it, which is why it feels barren. But delves are still very prominent in terms of how much bet and how much content Blizzard thought they are delivering for us. About the delves, I don't want to talk too much about it because this video is early impressions on how to get to 80 and what to do at LT. Do delves, basically. I will talk about delves in a separate video where I'll focus on my experience with delves, on different classes and other kind of stuff, so stay tuned, okay? Now, normal dungeons. When you're leveling up, you only have rotation of 4 normal dungeons, which are okay. I also have opinions on not just follower dungeons, normal dungeons, sorry. Normal dungeons, I have opinions on those. I think, in a nutshell, I think that they are okay. Some of them are great, by the way. But I think they are very trash rich. I have never seen anything since Brackenhide Hollow of Dragonflight expansion. I've never seen anything as saturated, swarming with ads that you have no other option but to all group up and kind of just AoE tank and AoE DPS. Part of it can be fun, and we will talk again about this later, but I have mixed feelings about dungeons so far. I think they went a bit too heavy on trash. That's my opinion. Everywhere. It's not just Brackenhide Hollow. It's freaking everything. Yes, some of them are better than others. Like the Rookery is not too bad. But yes, what to do at 80 or what to do to get to 80, spam normal dungeons. Especially if you are going on the second alt, if you're leveling the second alt and if you've done the campaign, luckily they're not pushing you through the campaign again. You can skip the campaign just like you did Threads of Fate in Shadowlands and so on and so forth. You can do whatever you want to do. Problem is, at the moment, if you do that, which is what I'm doing on my alts, there is really not all that much, including world questing content, there is not all that much for you to engage in other than literally spamming dungeons. And it is a bit annoying. Yes, you can spam delves at your own volition, and there is more to be said about that, but it also is a process with diminishing returns. Let me put it cryptically like this to you. They are not perfect. They're far from perfect, as a matter of fact. Okay. Now, what I think you should be doing at 80, I'll be honest with you, is beyond what I just said to you. You probably should reach the item level that gets you into heroic dungeons. That's what you should probably reach, and you can only do that by doing those prominent weekly world quests. One of them, for example, is at the very, very top of the map in Hallowfall right now, and it's like that special quest that gives you a purple chest, and you get a level 80 gear from it. Even if you do it earlier, even if you do it at level 78, 79 or whatever, you will still get a level 80 gear waiting for you in that chest. It's a special quest. Good. It's okay. I actually quite enjoy it, but to get the even permission to do that quest, to that special quest, you have to first do 3 world quests in Hallowfall in general. It's kinda a new soft rule that they're introducing, unlocking world quest content before they give you the juiciest content, because they want you to do that trash content before they give you the nugget that you actually are after. They are not allowing you to just log in on an alt, do the most impactful thing, then say thank you very much and log off. I don't like it. That's a design thing. That's not content thing. That's how they decided to force feed you and make you spend time on trash content you're not interested in, like those really not particularly engaging, not particularly interesting, in my humble opinion, world quests that I've seen so far, before you do the juicy bit, basically. Not a massive fan, do I need to say that? I'm not raging at all, it's just, again, honest opinion, kind of similar to what we shared about Radiant Echoes, and then, spoiler alert to all the White Knights out there, it has changed. So they have taken this feedback constructively as it's intended to be done, and they have done something about it. Now, talking about side quests, I said don't do side quests at the beginning when you're leveling your first alt. It is purely because of the scarcity of content, and I believe that saving those exclamation marks everywhere to be addressed on your alts is what I'm trying to say to you. When you run out, very quickly by the way, when you run out of meaningful content, world content to do, and if you don't feel like spamming delves, because this is basically a delving expansion, guys. We are coming to the crux of it, and that's my early impression. The burger has gotten smaller over the years, and because the burger has gotten smaller, they had to create this evergreen self-serving content on a loop that can be repeated. About the delves and what I think about the delves themselves, and why I am not just like head first into delves and like I'm happy, leave me alone everyone, because basically I was very happy in the patch 8.2, the horrific visions. I know not everyone liked them, but I thought there was enough variety, enough rewards, enough challenge. It was actually very, very good bundle of something that I was happy to engage in. Delves, I was secretly hoping that it's going to be horrific visions 2.0, properly nice, you know, not shitty Torghast and stuff, but like a proper good thing. But no, they're not. Spoiler alert, they're not. There is a lot to be said about them, but they're not. So, unless you're delving, the side quests could be something that you can do on the very little bit of the world quests that are available to you. Final thing that I'm going to point out that's available right now is that you get that Radiant Echo thing from one of the most meaningful quests. You get the Radiant Echo to be released and to invoke basically a mini Radiant Echoes event somewhere in the world. There are some rewards there, but they're not appealing rewards in my humble opinion. They don't give you a chunky, appealing piece of gear and you look at it and you're like, I have to have it. They don't. Instead, they give you more upgrade currency and other kind of, in my opinion, bear with me, but I am gonna say unexciting crap. They give you more currency, they give you more numbers. They don't give you anything chunky that's going to make you happy as a player who feels like they leveled a lot of alts and they did meaningful things and they got something chunky, yay, out of it. It's just not on. It's not on. Once again, before I wrap this up, I appreciate that it's early into the expansion, and I appreciate that Season 1 is going to bring world bosses, Mythic Plus, but it's not my thing, for example, it may be yours, LFR, which is my thing, yes, and it will feel better, and we will follow up on it, of course we will. But at the moment, early on, that's how you get to level 80, and that's what you do as level 80, unless I'm missing something. Yes, I'm aware of other events, such as Awakening the Machine, or whatever it's called, where you try and heal or like try and sustain basically or defend the person, the dwarf who is awakening the machine or does the machine maintenance, and as the waves of mobs come in. I've done the event once, okay, it's not enough of a sample, I agree, but I don't need to eat the whole egg that I tell that it's rotten. It's a bit of a harsh analogy here, harsh saying, but bear with me. What I'm saying here is that I sampled it once and I don't want to sample it again. It's boring as hell. And there is no real, tangible, nice reward. Tell me in the comments down below if you disagree and if you gotten something that was like, yay! So, anyway, as always, you don't have to agree with me. These are just my impressions and I'm trying to make it through to a more saturated content phase of the War Within. At the moment, again, to wrap up, I enjoyed the campaign. It was okay. Campaign was okay, but it felt really, really short, really inexcusably short. You barely introduced to Hollowfall people, you're already done with them. You barely introduced to spiders, you're done with them. There are some renowned systems upon rewards for being renowned with all these factions, which are the systems that are not for me. They may be for you, but for me, they are meaningless. Increasing that renown and getting those renown rewards is not something that's going to sustain me and keep me there. I need tangible improvement of the power of my alts, and that's done purely through gear. World of Warcraft is a game that's designed about the loot. I need the loot, and that loot is not just currency, is not just some renown increase that maybe 15 months down the track is going to give me some cosmetic wings at my back. Like, who the hell cares about that kind of stuff? That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I am slightly on the edge of disappointment. That's it. I'm not going to defend it. It's just how I feel. I'm on the edge of disappointment with this expansion so far. But I'm reserving final judgment. I still have my subscription because I'm waiting for the season to start and see if it brings tangible improvement, tangible sense of achievement. If delves are going to be... They said that they're going to iterate on feedback. That's feedback. Feedback is a gift. Do what you will with it. So that's how I feel. Now is your turn to first of all support the spreading of the good word. Hopefully, it's even if you disagree, it's basically us provoking thinking process and giving Blizzard feedback. So give this video a like to do your little part in helping YouTube algorithm to promote this video further. It does count, in case you think it doesn't. And talk to me in the comments down below. Just be constructive. Let's have mutually respectful, lovely conversation as we had in the past few videos. I really enjoyed it. I respond to everyone who is not a troll. Thank you again for being here with me on this little Sunday morning, at least in Sydney, Australia. And goodbye for now. I'll talk to you next time about something else, the War Within, without a doubt, related.